Good evening, everyone. And I believe that we are live and we are live on YouTube as well. So that we'll have this for our records. Thank you so much for making the adjustment to moving over to Zoom with us. And I know that it's a little bit of an adjustment for people to have to get on Zoom. But we're still going to Zoom and still get my live stream hours in at the same time. But I was mentored the other night riding in the car, and a friend of ours that earns multiple millions of dollars a month said to me, "Why are you not on Zoom with your book club?" And I was like, "Well, I was on Zoom and then I took it off to get more watch hours." And he was like, "If you don't Zoom that to YouTube, because this community is important." He said that he believes that had I left it on Zoom, we would be triple the amount of people that view with us every single week because of the community that we're building. So anyway, we're live on Zoom and we're live on YouTube, and it's super duper exciting to be here with you all on this Monday. Happy Monday. And we're going to tell you why book club is so important, and it's not in any order of importance. But for those of you who don't know me, or maybe this is your first time, my name is Nina Moore, and I am super excited to be here with you all. Book club is so important to me, and not just important to me, but what's really important is for us to understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So, one of the reasons why book club is so important is because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Another reason why book club is so important is because leaders are readers. And if we have a desire to lead in any capacity, we must read, because in order for us to lead, we must read. All right, I think I kind of like that, right? In order for us to lead, we must read. And then the other reason why book club is so important is because we're never ever going to earn more than we learn. So 6 years ago, we started this book club merely and simply because I really didn't enjoy reading at the time. Well, not 6 years ago. I enjoyed it, but I did it because I had to do it, not because I enjoyed doing it. Does anybody understand what that means? Like, I did it because I knew it was important, but now I understand that reading and books can take us places where our body may not ever go. I'm going to say that again. Reading and books can take us to places that our body may never travel to. And so that's why it's important, especially when I started to understand what it is that I really desire out of life. I understood that I wasn't currently the person qualified or equipped to handle all of the things that I desire to have. So we are now currently reading Born Rich by Bob Proctor. And I don't know about y'all, we defined what this title meant last week. And I believe that that changed the game for everybody. When you get a moment, you need to go and look at what does the word rich even mean. And then you want to say, I am born, boom, with that definition. And it just changes the game for you. So we are in chapter 2, almost done. Chapter 2 is how much is enough. For those of you that were with us last week and the week before, let me know how you feel so far about what we're reading in Born Rich. Now, this particular book is not just a regular self-help book. This particular book literally talks about us utilizing what we already have inside of us. This book says, don't go looking externally for what's already inside of you. This book says, rearrange things in your life because you already have what you need to get or to be what you desire to be. It really just takes a decision and some small, simple ways that we rearrange things in our lives or on our bookshelves. You know how sometimes we'll take all this stuff down off the bookshelves and then put it back? We didn't change it. We didn't add anything new, but you rearrange them to make it look differently, like I need to do with my closets, right? So statistics indicate that although most people are insured, and they talked last week about the knowledge that he had of insurance and how many people are either not insured or underinsured. And then it talks about bloom. Now we're at bloom where you are planted. Start now. That's so important. Bloom where you are planted. start now? When do you start to live this good life? I want everybody to type into the comments now. Now. We start to live the good life now. All right, so bloom where you are planted, start now. When do you start to live good? Is that the question you are beginning to ask yourself? Well, when do I start? We start now. We start by answering the following questions. How often do you pay your phone bill? Everybody, if you're taking notes, how often do you pay your phone bill? How often do you pay your rent or your mortgage? Monthly, right? Once a month, once a month. Some people split their payments up. Actually, some people put money to the side on their mortgage every week or bi-weekly. Okay, because what it does is it makes it look like you're actually paying multiple payments, and it increases your credit score. I gave y'all that one for free. I just wanted y'all to know I gave y'all that one for free. That if you pay your mortgage or your credit card bills or your car notes or whatever in increments, it actually makes it look like you're making multiple payments, and it'll make your credit score go up. Okay, so how often do you pay your rent or your mortgage? How often do you how often do you go to the grocery store? I go a lot. I go a lot. I go a lot. I don't know about y'all, but I go a lot. I know Sylvia, you probably over there like a lot. A lot. Okay, I go a lot. That's because we had a good, that's an inside joke. Dr. Dunn said I go daily. Now I don't go daily, but I go a lot, right? How often do you pay for gas for your car? How often do you have to put gas in your car? Typically for me, it's about once a week. Unless I'm doing a lot of running. How often do you pay for your doctor? That's an old school question, probably, right? And then how often? Here's the one. How often do we pay ourselves? Rut row. We pay the mortgage. We buy the groceries. We put gas in the car. We pay the bills. We blah blah blah. How often do we pay ourselves? Uh-oh. The last question seems like a strange one, doesn't it? But do you realize that fewer than 5 people in every 100 ever pay themselves? If you were to ask the other 95 why they don't, they'd probably tell you that by the time they pay everyone else, there is nothing left for themselves. Oh, clearly, those 4 or 5 people in every 100 who do pay themselves have found a way around this problem. Although the idea that they are employing that the idea they are employing has been around for centuries, hardly anyone today is aware of it. What is that idea you ask for? Simply put, it is this. They pay themselves first. Period. So basically, what they do is they make it a point to say, I'm paying myself and nothing else matters. Just like how your mortgage has to be paid, your car note has to be paid, your rent or mortgage your rent, right? Just like you got to put gas in your car, just like you got to do all of those things. And it is a must, it's a necessity that you do them. Paying yourself, when we pay ourselves, that has to be something that we put into, I don't care if it's $5, that we put aside and we say, that's for me. That's for me. So we pay ourselves. This is the letter known as the Babylonian Law of Financial Success. The Babylonian Law of Financial Success says pay yourself first. Write that down. Now listen to y'all. I want to make sure I'm making this clear. Paying yourself first doesn't mean I put $100 in a savings account. Y'all do know that, right? See, because number one, that money's not even growing any interest in the savings account. That's not paying yourself first. Doesn't mean that you can't save any money. That's not what I'm saying. Even though we can't take it in the grave with us. I mean, do we? Okay, y'all give me permission to just teach today a little bit, a little bit. There are so many people that are hell bent over having a ton of money sitting in the savings account because that is the way we were taught. And I want y'all to know that we were taught in error. Any money that's sitting in your savings account is money that is not working for you. I, Lady Jen, am I teaching good? Any money that's just sitting in the savings account, especially because we're there in regular, if it's in a regular bank account where it is not growing any interest, it is as if you took the talent that the Lord gave you and put it in the ground. While the other people took their talents and they multiplied them. So the money that we have, we should, if we're going to put it in an account, it should be in some form of an investment account. It should be in some kind of account that grows interest, an interest bearing account, not sitting in a savings account, which is doing absolutely nothing for us. Because the money is just sitting there. We done took what God gave us and put it in the ground. So that one was for free. Now let me go back. The Babylonian law of financial success says that we should pay ourselves first. Part of all you earn is yours to keep. Part of all we earn is ours to keep. If you think about it, you must admit this law or principle makes a lot of good sense. Therefore, let me repeat it, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Bob Proctor says a part of all we earn is ours to keep. And he said it was so good he had to say it again. More specifically, what you earn Monday morning is yours to keep. So it should go directly into a special account that you do not have easy access to. That's what I'm talking about. Where you have an account that you don't have easy access to. If it's going to go into a savings account, it needs to go into an account that you ain't even going to touch. It's a high yielding account that you can't touch without penalty. That's how we put something somewhere for ourselves. I remember a few years ago, you guys, I was in a wine company. At the time, I didn't even drink wine, but I joined a wine company. I became the number one income earner of a company where I didn't even use the product. Right? I mean, literally, Dr. Bramwell, I was doing wine tastings and just spitting, doing the swooshing and the swirling and all of that and spitting it in the bucket. Because I didn't drink wine, but I understand how to curate an experience. And because I understood how to curate an experience, I was the number one. I became listen, thank you, Holy. Listen to this. I was in launch. I was in pre-launch. I want y'all to hear this. With a team in Australia for 10 months. I know right there, not 10 days, not 10 weeks, 10 months. I was in pre-launch, Dr. Bramwell, on a Zoom at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 days a week with a team that couldn't get any product for 10 months, selling them a vision, selling them a dream. They were inviting people to a Zoom, y'all, for a company that wasn't going to launch for 10 months. We can't even wait 10 days for something. 10 months. The day that Australia launched with a product that I didn't even consume, which goes to prove that you don't have to be passionate about a product to sell it. But if you are passionate, it does make for good stories. Okay? The day that Australia launched, after I had been in pre-launch for 10 months, y'all heard that? 10 months. I became the number one income earner of the company. The day that my team launched. Now, I say all that to say, a millionaire mentor friend of mine said, Nina, give me $10,000. We're going to put it into this stock. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put it there. I knew I couldn't touch it. He was like, you're going to put it in this stock. When Paul and I checked that stock, I didn't even know how to check it. He figured it out. When we checked the stock, that was probably 2019 when I bought the stock. We checked the stock when we were getting ready to move here because I found the paperwork, 2021. The stock was worth $19,000. What would me putting $10,000 in the bank, what would that have done for me? But in less than 2 years, that 10,000 turned into 19,000. I don't even know what it's at right now. The paper is just sitting in my lockbox because I haven't even checked. And this is now 2025. So this goes to show that I don't have easy access to it, right? And I put it somewhere in a high interest stock, or if you want to call it that, So it would just grow. And one day I'm going to look at it, give it to a broker and say, do something with this. Get my money. Right? Like that's like our emergency. That is like the emergency fund right now. Okay. So, I mean, the long term emergency fund, not like the I need it quick emergency fund. So, your financial independence account. He says what you earn on Monday morning probably represents 10% of your income. Therefore, you should pay yourself at least that 10% right off the top, not after everyone else has been paid. Yes, we pay our tithes. That is not what Bob Proctor is saying. What he's saying is we cannot keep paying everyone else and not pay ourselves. From this financial independence account, you first pay your insurance premium because that instrument creates your instant estate. If we don't have insurance, and I'm so glad that this book is educating us like this, if we don't have any insurance, we don't have any form of an estate. It creates your instant estate. The remainder of the money then goes into savings until you have accumulated enough capital to make a wise investment. Okay? Do not touch this account or the interest that it will yield. Therefore, within a very short period of time, you will witness, this is called Born Rich, you will witness sufficient progress to gain the motivation and inspiration you need to continue. Moreover, so imagine this, y'all. How motivated was I when I looked at that stock and it had gone from $10,000 to $19,000? How motivating is that? That'll sober you up real quick. It was super motivating. It was super motivating. And it makes you want to then say, okay, I need to look at some other stocks. I don't even remember the name of it. I didn't know what he was talking about. He just said, send me $10,000. And I did it. Because at the time, that's the kind of money we were making in that company. All right. So, moreover, the knowledge that you have, an instant estate, if anything should happen to you, that will give you additional serenity of mind. Orderly debt repayment program. You could already have debts that seem to be eating up your entire paycheck, leaving nothing for yourself. But understand this, these debts can be retired. Although the amount of debt you have incurred will, of course, determine the length of the time that it will take you to clear the slate. For the purposes of the following discussion, you must consider that your mortgage or your house payment, probably one of your largest monthly payments, as an investment, not a debt. Then we've got the debt clearance account. So what he's trying to say to us now is if he's going to educate us on how much is enough, we started off this chapter knowing or writing out how much money we need to earn each month based on the goals that we have. Dr. Dunn, I don't know if you're open to share those numbers that you shared with me in the comments. Actually, you can unmute because I made you a co-host. If you would talk about what you thought you needed versus once you wrote it out like the book suggested, what you now believe you need to earn. Let's talk about that.
Yes, so how are you guys? Hello, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to share. Can you hear me?
I can't hear her. Paul, did we do something to the audio in here? All right, go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
How's it now? Is it better?
Y'all can hear her? I can't hear her. Okay, hold on. Keep talking. I'll fix it.
Okay. Well, I remember the book saying to not write down the numbers according to what you are doing right now or according to how your bank account is now. Actually think about what you want, like for real, and write those numbers out. So initially I thought I probably just needed between 8 to 9,000 a month, for the perfect house I want. Like, I don't want a big, massive house, but I do want a good size house. I don't want to clean all that. So I just need something like 4-bedroom, something like that for me and Ray to have a nice car. The kids are going away to college and, all those things, utilities. And it turned out that I actually needed like 17 to 18,000. $1,000 every month. And that is pretty much just to like live. Like I did put some travel in there, but not like major travel. So if I wanted to like major travel or put in there pay my mom's house off or pay my dad's house off. I didn't even put those things in there. But just for my household, literally 17 to 18,000 in the perfect world, living the lifestyle that I want, not by what I have or what I got going on right now.
Right.
So that was a good exercise. I didn't think it was going to be that much.
Perfect. So what it is oftentimes we think about what we want based off of what we currently have. And what this book is teaching us to do is to set the goals based on what we want. And you got to write it out or you will never know. And here's the thing. Once Dr. Dunn has written it out, let me tell you what happens once you write it out. Once you write out what you want and you start putting a number to it, do we not understand that your brain magically begins to, when you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But what happens is the subconscious mind doesn't know whether we're lying to it or not. And because the subconscious mind doesn't know whether we're lying to it or not, guess what it does, Cheryl? It starts to design a way. It starts looking for opportunity. You'll start looking for people that should be your customers. You'll get this boldness out of nowhere to do things like step out of a car and do some tests on the side of a road and things like that. You'll get this boldness, Dr. Bramwell, that you don't know where it came from, but it is because the subconscious mind is saying, we got to compute these numbers because your goal now is $18,000 or $25,000 a month. Does everybody understand? But if we're too scared to write that number because we think we can't have it based off of what we currently have, I hate to break bad news to us all. You'll never have it. You'll never have it. We can't say, I want a lot of money. The brain doesn't know what the subconscious mind doesn't know what a lot of money is. Well, I just want to retire my husband. Well, what's the number? How much does that take? I knew in order for me to retire Paul, that we were going to need to have earned at least $75,000 in his account. Because remember, at that time when we got down here, we were in a different company and I had two positions, Dr. Bramwell, and I knew that I needed to earn at least $75,000 a year in his account because he was accustomed to making, with overtime, at least six figures. So at least, I'm talking 75, 80,000 was the minimum that could happen in his account. So I had to write it down. I had to know that was the number. If we have a desire to come off of our jobs, right? Well, if you have a desire, I'm sorry, I don't know the last time I ever worked a job, but if you have a desire to come off of your job, you have to know what the number is. You got to know what the number is. If you don't write that number down, you will never get off the job. Because your brain doesn't know what you needed to do. Your subconscious mind doesn't know. So now Bob Proctor is saying, now that you have it envisioned in front of you when you did the exercise earlier in chapter 2, like Dr. Dunn just said, now that you know what you want to have, now let's show you what to do with it while you've got it. I love this. Okay, no book has ever done that. Usually we just read and they say you need to go do this and you need to go do that and do this and do that and do that. But they never kind of give you like an outline. So now we got to do an orderly debt. We said the orderly debt repayment program, right? Then it's the debt clearance account. How do we now put money up to clear the debt out? Whatever money you earn on Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning should go directly into your debt clearance account. This represents 20% of your income. You should also sit down and draft a letter that you will send to all of your creditors advising them of your plan. Before you mail the letter, you should first draw up a list of your creditors to determine what the proportion of this 20% of each of them would receive. It could conceivably be more money than they are presently receiving, or it could be less, but whichever way it works out, that will be the sum of money that each of them will receive. Whatever sum they do receive, they will receive regularly on the stipulated dates. The following is a sample letter, and then they give a sample letter in here. Now, I'm going to give you one bigger than that because I don't particularly, that's an older way to do things. Now you go to Chat GPT. And if you go to Chat GPT You can literally take your credit report and put it into Chat GPT. And guess what Chat GPT will do for you? Draft up letters for you to send to the creditors, especially based on some of what's taking place with the breaches of your information. And you can get a lot of things taken off of your credit based on all of the breaches that have been out there here recently. And you can put your credit report into Chat GPT and tell Chat GPT to write you letters and get your stuff pardoned and forgiven. I gave y'all that one for free. All right. So that's one better than what all this is saying. So understand that your letter to your creditor is a statement of fact, and it is not a request. It's a statement of fact, not a request. It is you who is in charge of your finances, not your creditors. I want that to be the biggest thing that you get out of this. You be the person in charge of your creditor, of your money, not your creditors. But what happens a lot of times, Tedra, is when we start to get, and I've been there, I got a lot of debt now. I have a lot of debt now, okay? But I've been there in a place where I couldn't pay for the debt that I had. Does everybody understand? There's a difference when you can actually pay for the debt that you have, or a place where you just don't have no money and you can't pay for the debt. Okay? But you have to understand that our money belongs to us, and we start to feel like we're being controlled by the debt. These are ways now for you to get control of your money. I want to help people around me. I don't know about nobody else. I don't want to be good by myself. And they're just little tweaks that I've made, little, and I ain't perfect by far. I am not there all the way yet, but everything I learn, I put into practice. All right? These are just little ways for you to give yourself a better situation, because Bob Proctor wants us to understand we're in charge of our finances, not our creditors. But sure to have your letters neatly typed, of course. ChatGPT will type all of them for you. And I might even have some of the things that you should be sending to your creditors through ChatGPT. I might have it, and if I do, what I'll do is I'll send out an email to everyone that is subscribed to the Stand Store. I'll just have Paul and I will draft up an email, and we'll send out ChatGPT prompts for you to use to clear your credit. Is that can we get an amen on that? Y'all good? And I ain't gonna charge a dime. I'm gonna give you the play. Okay, I'm gonna run you the play. Because what I understand is life hits us hard sometimes. And sometimes we just need to a little air so we could breathe, medical debt, whatever, bills, you go through a divorce, and sometimes you just need a little cushion or a little help to help you to breathe again. All right, so now give yourself a good pat on the back, because as of this moment, you are well on your way to starting a completely new way of life. Let's briefly review what you have accomplished so far. You have an instant estate. If anything should happen to you, what is that, y'all? Our insurance, our life insurance. That is our instant estate. If anything was to happen to us, we know that we're leaving someone no debt. We're leaving them something to be able to sustain their lives and be okay with us being gone. Secondly, we're doing what? We have a savings account. But I told y'all, not a regular savings account, a savings account that we cannot touch, a savings account that is going to be more high yielding, maybe even stocks, something that we're paying ourselves and putting in, because next is you are paying yourself. So aside from because we got to break our money up, we should never have one bank account. You should have multiple bank accounts. Multiple. You should have a business account. You should have an EIN number. All right? I'm going to help the people. We not going to be, let me tell y'all something. I'm at the baddest ladies around me, okay? Because no one told me these things. I don't want for you to go through what I had to go through, because I had to trial and error. I had to figure it out on my own. But no, I'm going to give you the play, okay? Once you get your EIN, you can get your bank account. You also need to get like an LLC, or you need to know whether you want to be an LLC or corp. And maybe one day I'll have someone come on here and teach the difference between LLC and corporations. Okay. I'll see who I can get to do that. Here's the thing. You also need a DUNS number, because a DUNS number, D-U-N-S, DUNS number, is going to help you report as a business owner. Okay, it's going to kind of help you report as a business owner. Like if you are in a multi-level marketing company or an affiliate marketing or anything like that, and they have direct deposit, if they have direct deposit, you should have that money directly deposited into your business account so that it looks like there's regular money being deposited into your business account. Does this make sense, y'all? You know why? Because when you need business credit, they need to see that there's been money going in there on a regular basis. That's why you don't make it go to your regular account. Make it go to your business account. I'm trying to help y'all, okay? I'm trying to help you, ladies. All right, so I think we got all ladies today. Have it go to your business account. If you don't have direct deposit from the companies that you guys are in, guess what? Once you get your money, deposit it into your business account so that there's regular money going into, I don't care if it's $100, something regular going into your business account, okay? So after you savings account, pay yourself, you have an orderly debt repayment program, okay? Then you have 70% of your income to live on, to run the house and for entertainment. So 30% of your income is gonna go for all of that. Debt restructuring, paying yourself, right? Paying all of that. Then 70% of your income is gonna be to live off of, to run the house, and then for your entertainment. And the thing is, y'all, we can't be scared of the numbers. So many of us don't want to sit down and do a budget. We don't want to, because I know if we sat down and did a budget and found and realized, I know sometimes when I think about, sometimes when I'm just like not feeling like cooking and not feeling like this, and I'm thinking like, dang, you know what's going out? Then I'm like, ugh, is there anything else I could have used that for? I get it. I get it. But I also work hard so that I can play hard. Some of y'all gonna catch that. I work hard so I can play hard. I work hard so I can play hard. Okay. So your mind is clear to carry on with the big ideas coming your way in the remainder of the book. From this moment on, never think debt again. I want y'all to write that in the comments because we're about to get freed up from debt. From this moment on, never think debt again. Remember that has all been taken care of. So what you focus on now is your savings account. Don't call it debt. Don't call it debt. Don't even call it debt because we're reprogramming our minds right now. Don't call it debt ever again. We are focusing on our savings accounts and we're going to watch that grow. We'll watch it grow. Repeat, I am wealthy. I want everybody, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to unmute everybody. I'm going to allow everybody to unmute. Everybody unmute themselves. Everybody unmute themselves. We're going to say this together. Right? We're going to say it together. Y'all ready?
Yes.
I am wealthy.
I am wealthy.
I am wealthy.
And wealthy.
Money is good.
Money is
Is
good.
good.
And watch it grow.
And watch it
grow.
And again, I use money.
I use money.
I love people.
I love
people.
I am wealthy.
I am
Wealthy.
wealthy.
I am wealthy. Keep saying it. I am wealthy.
wealthy.
I am wealthy.
And wealthy.
I am 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 wealthy.
I am
I am
wealthy.
wealthy.
I am wealthy. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. I am.
That sounded like a whole chorus. See, because remember, our subconscious mind doesn't know that we're not wealthy yet. You keep telling let me tell you what happens. You keep telling yourself that you're wealthy, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to wake up one day and say, I don't know how this happened. But because you began to believe that thing, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wise. I make Paige say that every single day. I am the head and not the tail. I am the first and not the last. I am above only and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am wise. I am beautiful. I am kind. I am smart. And you start to say that there's somewhere, even if she doesn't all the way believe it, her subconscious mind is got to tell her that yes, she is wealthy. And hello, I see we got a gentleman with us too. Shout out to you. Right? We are wealthy. And we got to keep telling ourselves that. Getting your present finances in order, because we're not going to be afraid of that in 2025. We're not going to be afraid of it in 2025 because we control our finances. Remember, our finances don't control us. All right? We control it. getting your present finances in order is like having your automobile tuned up for a journey that you are about to take. Realize that as of this moment, you are tuned up for your journey. Although presently you might only be earning X amount of dollars, number of dollars per year, you must see yourself on screen of your mind, on the screen of your mind, earning the new annual income that you have calculated that you need to buy the things that you want in order to live the way that you choose to live. Let me help y'all out. Somebody somewhere once in your life told you, get your head up out the clouds, stop dreaming. This is the real world. Somebody lied to you. And somebody, because they lied to you, you don't believe that you should be dreaming. Because somebody lied to you and said, go get yourself a real job. Somebody lied to you and said, you got all them big, lofty dreams. I'm certain, Edna, that they probably thought that Mark Zuckerberg's dream of having this social platform for people to meet on. And like, I remember finding my 4th grade teacher on Facebook. I found her son first, and then I found her. Let me tell you, this woman made such an impact in my life. Maybe it was my 3rd grade teacher. Mrs. Winter was probably 4th grade. She made such an impact in my life, Miss Edna, that I still to this day remember her smell. I remember the way her perfume smelled when she hugged me, because see, back in the day, we could hug our teachers and it was okay. You can't hug your kids now. You can't touch them now. But back in the day, matter of fact, I was so close to my teacher, y'all, I spent the night at her house. Like, we were close. It wasn't no funny business. She ain't touched me. She had a son. He's a little pudgy little boy, and we were friends. And back then you could do that. I know I look young, but I'm saying back then, that mean I ain't as young as I look. Okay? And so I say all that to say, we now have to understand that everything we think and say, Mark Zuckerberg invited 5 people to his dorm room. 5 of them, y'all. And 3 of them didn't show up, Virginia, because they were too busy being busy or thinking that Mark's idea was too lofty. They were probably saying, get your heads out the cloud. They were probably telling Mark, you always doing something. How many of y'all heard that? Well, you always doing something. And you know, when somebody says something crazy to me like that, I say to them, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Nothing? Well, what do you, don't put your stuff on me, because you would rather sit around and do nothing and accept life just merrily we roll along right in front of you, while I want to change my life. I want to help other people. I want to grow. I want more. I want to live the life that the word of God says that I can live. Don't be mad at me because I ain't a stinking thinker. And then you run from people that think like that. Get out of them circles, because you'll be trying to figure out, dang, there was a time when I wanted more. There was a time when I was working hard. There was a time when I came out of the house. There was a time when I was concerned how I looked. There was a time when I was exercising. There was a time. And you'll be thinking like, there was a time when I wanted all, and then I don't know what happened. You started letting thinking people get up in your head and in your ears. And now you can't even figure out why you feel like a stinking thinker just like them. I am telling you to run from that. Run from that spirit, because spirits are transferable. Energy is transferable. And I don't know why I got to remind y'all today. See, that's why I like Zoom versus being on YouTube. I got to remind you all of who we are, who you are, and what you deserve. Guess what, y'all? Because abundance is your birthright. I was with a friend of mine yesterday, y'all, last night. And I'm going to tell y'all, we had a rough 48 hours. We just really had a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't want to go, but I had promised that I was going to make some food. So I went ahead and went to the event, because I'm a woman of my word. Everybody that know me know, if I say I'm going to get something done, I'm going to get it done, right? I don't care if I got to stay up all night. So I took the food. And I was going to leave right away. But they had told me, well, the kids might get in the pool. So go ahead if you want to put the kids in the pool or whatever. And as I'm sitting there, a friend of mine that I've been wondering how he's doing something he's doing. He came in, his son was with him, and I was like, great. All the kids that were there last night too were all homeschool kids too. It was great, right? So they all in the pool, they all end up in the pool together. I decided to stay. And as I'm sitting there, Ash Cash starts talking. And somebody asked the right question. Somebody asked the right question. And when they asked the right question, I just put my phone on record and started taking notes. And when I felt like I needed a little bit more, I didn't talk too much because I just let him talk. But when I felt like I needed a little bit more, I just asked another question so that he could keep pouring. Because we got to understand. And the one thing he said to me, I asked him how he felt about the movie that just came out with TP called Straw. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And he said, I don't watch garbage like that. He said, I respect the person who has created this fortune for themselves, but I don't watch garbage like that. And this is why he said what he said. He said, because you don't understand that when you keep watching movies about being in the struggle, that subconsciously it is feeding your brain. It is feeding your brain to believe that you're always going to be in the struggle. And he was like, I'm actually kind of sick and tired of seeing our Black women depicted in a way that is always the struggle. He said, so no, I didn't watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't watch any of his movies. He said, I don't watch most of them kind of movies. He said, because I don't want to feed my subconscious mind that. And when he said that, now I have not watched it. I didn't watch it. And I said, the only reason why I thought I might have been a little bit interested in watching it is because there is a couple that I had been watching a documentary on. They got married, opened up a business. The business began to fail. They had 4 sons and they robbed a bank together. When I saw the documentary before I saw the previews of that movie that was getting ready to come out months ago, right? And I saw the documentary and I thought, well, maybe did he steal this story? Because that is the same story. But I want you to know that I was challenged by someone yesterday who makes way more money than me. Way more money than me. And he said, why would anybody who wants a better life subject themselves and their subconscious mind to stuff that won't improve you or empower you? I want you to know that if you are in a space where we're no longer in debt, because we cleared that up, y'all, we cleared that up. We cleared it up. And we're going to rewire the way we think about money. We're going to rewire the way we think about ourselves while we're reading this book, right? We're going to rewire it. So then why in the world would you want to remain around people who don't empower you? Why do we want to watch things and listen to things that don't motivate us to be better, to be different? All right, y'all? So if we find the task of getting your financial world in good order for this exciting journey is something that you are not able to do alone, I would strongly suggest that you seek out professional assistance. This is something that almost all wealthy people do. They follow the advice of financial experts, and it is similar to the idea that if a person's body were sick, he or she would seek out a professional. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you one. I got another freebie for y'all. If you think that you don't know what to do when it comes to where do you start to improve your credit or to get yourself in a better financial standing so that you're not overridden or overburdened with a lot of, okay? Then what you do is you go to ChatGPT and you tell ChatGPT, hey, this is the situation that I'm in. We got to look at the credit scores, y'all. We got to look at it. We can't be afraid of it. But I know what that feels like. So I'm not beating down on anybody. I am telling you that if I can do it, I was a single mom with 3 kids. One was in college, one was in middle school, one was in high school, and one was in elementary school. And if I could rewrite my story, then I'm certainly positive that all of you can. And I want to free you up today because I really believe that this is kind of one of them chapters that, yeah, I'm going to finish this last page and then we're going to be done with this. I want you to understand this. It doesn't matter where you are in life right now. I want you all to give yourself some grace. Like, forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Because this is the day, one, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Secondly, you probably just didn't know what to do. And a lot of times, because we think that we're in such a bad place, we won't even take the time to go find a way because we don't want anybody to know. I know I was there. I didn't want anybody to know how bad of a situation I was in. But what I started to do was I started figuring out ways to earn more income so that I could get rid of a lot of that stuff that was holding me hostage, that we ain't gonna say that word, but the D word. Ends in a T, 4 letters, right? What's so crazy about that word? What's so crazy about that word is when I think about the food subsidy that people get called EBT, and you think about that word that begins with the D, y'all ain't never even thought of that, huh? How all these things, and here's the thing, I'm not against any of it. I used to get EBT. I was so grateful for that EBT, and I forced myself to not stay on it because I didn't want it to continue to be a crutch for me. And I told myself that I'm going to get myself to a place where I was earning enough income because I didn't want that to continue to be a crutch or a lifestyle or a way of thinking. I used it at a time when I needed it to get me out of a place that I was in. But I didn't want to stay there and to allow that to be a crutch. So I'm not beating anyone down. I am telling you, if that is where you are right now, then I am empathizing with you. That I am telling you that there is a better way, and it starts with the way that we think. And that is probably why you are connected to me, whoever it is that's watching this right now, or even watching the replay. I am here to tell you that that may be why you're connected to me, because I am living proof that if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm living proof of that. So, let me see. This last page real quick says deficit position, break even position, surplus position. We don't need to. 3 habits to establish 3 steps rather to establish the habit of financial success. And we're going to be done for today. All right. And next week, we're going to start with the image maker. It's going to talk about It's Up to Me, our image of ourselves. That's going to help us with the image of how we see ourselves. And this is so good. Okay. So 3 steps to establish the habit of financial success. 1, decide how much money is enough to fund your dreams. Remember that was the thing we were supposed to do in the beginning of chapter 2. Establish how much money is enough to fund your dreams, not based on how much money you're earning right now. Remember that, okay? Remember that. This is not based on how much money you're earning right now. This is based on where you see yourself going. What are your dreams and your desires? Where are you going? That is what you should be, okay? Yes, Aunt Carol, that's what the system uses to enslave us, get us comfortable, keep getting this EBT, right? So that you don't want to ever come off of that. All right, so number 1, decide how much money you need is enough to fund your dreams. Number 2, design a new financial plan or have one designed for you. Buy it from an expert. Guess what you can do? You can go to ChatGPT and you can ask it to help you design a financial plan based on where you are, and you put your credit report in there. And ChatGPT will design one. You actually should go to ChatGPT and go to the very top of it and create your own avatar, meaning it begins to learn you, how you speak, the tone you speak in, the colors you like, the this, the that, right? And it begins to talk like you based on what it knows about you, your avatar, all right? So you can do all of that through ChatGPT. Okay? Because we don't need to put money out for that right now. We don't have the money for that, right? Okay? That's not what we're doing. All right? And then number 3, don't deviate for that plan for 2 months until the plan becomes a habit. So what happens is whatever plan you design, you need to not deviate from that plan for at least 2 months so that that plan becomes a habit. All right, everybody? Listen, at the end of this, y'all, we're going to be amazing. So again, decide how much money is enough to fund your dreams. Then we design a new financial plan or have one designed for us using good old ChatGPT. And you can use the free version of ChatGPT. I will tell you this though. If you use the $19.99 version of ChatGPT, it stores all of your information. Meaning every project you work on is stored. You never lose it. When you use the free version, soon as you log out of there, it doesn't hold your information. So when I tell you that $19.99 is worth every penny, I use ChatGPT every day of my life, along with over 125 other million people who use ChatGPT. It's worth every penny of the $19.99. And when you, to the point where if I'm looking to go travel somewhere, I'm asking ChatGPT to compare the prices for me. Did y'all know y'all could do that? If you're looking for hotel rooms in a specific state, you can ask ChatGPT. I should be getting paid from ChatGPT. I might need to look into how I can, because when I tell y'all, it's worth every penny, and it's going to make your life simpler because the information comes like that. And because we don't really know how to create like business plans and things like that all the time, when you go to start asking ChatGPT questions, guess what? It then starts suggesting, well, would you like me to make you X, Y, and Z kind of slides? Or would you like it in a PDF? Would you like it in a blah, blah, blah? Would you like it? And it starts to ask you, do you want more? Do you want more? Do you want more? That's what it will begin to ask you based on it learning your habits. So that little $19.99 that you'll never feel, it's just $19.99. I'm telling you, put ChatGPT to work for you. So I'm so glad we had this time together. And I pray that you were blessed by what we read today and what God told me to share with you all based on, just some things that I've learned and I'm using for myself in ways that I was able to help bring us out, as a family. Just applying these little steps over and over and over again, creating a habit will bring you to a new place. We will be back here next Monday at the same time, 6 p.m. on this same link. I'm never going to change this link up so that you never have to wonder. When we got book club, if you look in your join Zoom numbers, it's always going to be there. Once you type it in one time or once you click it one time, you're always going to see this same link, the 678. So we will be back here. I want you all to remember that you should be following me on social media platforms. And I know that I can't put it up here like I used to do it with StreamYard. But make sure you're following me on my social media platforms. And I know my Instagram is really kind of like my most important one is the real Nina Moorer. And then on Facebook, I am at Nina Rochelle Moorer, right? I try to keep my stuff pretty consistent on all platforms. On TikTok, I'm saying Nina Moorer. You're going to see the Wellness Queen. You also want to make sure you check out my Instagram because we will have it to where people can register for book club, and then we'll be able to email to remind people that we are on Zoom versus being on YouTube, even though this is going live to YouTube. All right. So always remember that I want you to enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be kind to one another and do a good deed. Pay it forward. Be nice to someone, even if it means you buy them a bottle of water, a cup of coffee, or something like that, right? But let's be kind to one another. Pay the toll for someone, because I believe that the more we pay it forward, the more we're blessed in return. Now, if you want, we will be right back on this Zoom at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you that don't know us. So in another hour and 5 minutes, We will be right back here on the Zoom. I would strongly encourage you to go to the restroom, go grab something to eat or something, and get back here on time at 8 o'clock, because we're gonna share some wealth principles. Because we got something big that's happening, and that's what I do. I help people take an idea or a concept and turn it into a way to earn income, help people, and have a whole lot of fun. Always remember that God loves you, and so do I. Good night.